Oh, you should have a pillow too.
Welcome to Florida Mint on Florida Man with Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. Welcome to episode 233. We are here with our good friend Josh Bump. How are you, sir?
What's up?
Man, it's been a while.
Maybe 200 episodes at least.
At least. I mean, so early on, if you are a true fan of our show, you are familiar with Bump Coletta. He is an artist. He's incredible. He's done some amazing stuff. We've commissioned his work. A lot of famous folks have. And now you are in the studio, man. How's it been?
It's been great. I mean, this year alone's been some big life-changing things for us, for my life and career, but everything's been awesome. Some dad jokes, some hurricanes, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So the hurricane was...
And now we're back in hurricane season.
Yeah, now we're back.
Yeah, so you had a very interesting experience with Hurricane Ian.
Yeah, I'll give you the clip notes if y'all want to hear it.
Please, yeah.
First off, I don't think it should be a law that you have to have insurance because
For sure.
Okay, strong
you sign up,
stance. Yep.
you pay for it,
Yes.
and then they won't give you your money to fix your house.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
right,
that's
exactly.
It's
the-
almost been a year.
Yeah, the hang up is.
And so we're in that thing. Our house is still devastated from the hurricane, but we can't do anything because they'll say that was preconditioned,
Right.
whatever.
that's my roof.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I insure the house. The roof's part of the house.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we pay them if they're not going to help us? So anyway, we're just, we had to get an attorney and do all those good things. So, it's almost been a year. So we're just going to see if we can get some moolah to fix our kitchen and our bedroom. Me and my wife live in our kids' playroom now,
Yeah.
Okay.
waking up to
Okay.
Legos and stuff.
There you go.
Huh. So you had a roof. It peeled off.
Peeled off. All the rain of Ian came in.
Yes.
Soaked and flooded everything. The ceilings caved in, all that jazz. Ruined a lot of stuff. But
And then the company you pay to protect you said, I don't think this is.
they're like, hang on a second. Where's my wallet?
Where is it? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Do we
what-
want to name and shame?
I think we should, because I will say this. I know that when Hurricane Ian came through and did a ton of destruction,
Yeah.
Geico ended up laying off like hundreds and hundreds of employees because they weren't prepared for
Yeah,
it.
they need to
And
cover
they're like,
the-
well, wait a minute, we have to cover these damages, and so bye like a quarter of our staff, which is crazy.
Yeah, and I heard too that all these little insurance companies that get started, they're new entrepreneuring.
Yeah.
Every time a hurricane comes, that wipes them out.
Oh, yeah.
And so all the big companies buy them up. And so that's kind of how the insurance company goes. And I
Well-
found out today that our insurance company has an insurance company to take care of them during hurricanes, but they still don't want to.
Absolutely,
I can give you
insane.
some insight here. Many fortnights ago, I was in insurance school to get an insurance license.
Really?
Give me the dirty secrets.
Yeah, until I learned it was soul sucking. But basically, a big insurance company also has a small one called blank blank Florida. And basically, their idea is, okay, if a hurricane comes through, we can bankrupt blank blank Florida and keep State Farm as a whole.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah,
And that's why you will never hear any sponsor of that sort on our show.
and not anymore.
No, it's the American way.
Yeah, we don't side with monsters. But you know who we do side with? Bump Coletta, man. We're glad you're here.
Yep.
We really are excited for your headlines.
And his art, we bragged about his art, and you can see his art all over the internet and in physical forms.
Physical forms, yeah.
And tonight,
And
because
tonight.
the icebreaker will have that.
We try to play to your strengths.
Thank you.
You know what I
We'll
mean?
see.
And I brought gifts for you guys.
I hate
too.
that.
So
I
we
hate
got
this part.
some-
I love gifts, man. And in fact, I think this starts a precedent moving forward. When we have guests on our show, we say it's pretty normal to bring gifts.
It's a
should,
gift
'cause-
exchange on your end.
It's
Yes.
like a housewarming gift because you welcomed us into your home.
Thank
Okay,
you.
cool.
And I get to share stories. Awesome. All right. So before I'm going to do my first gifts, we're going to start small.
Come on.
All right. So this is from me and my best friend, Mr. ENC, Eric Collins.
Oh, Eric Collins, Mr.
And so
ENC.
he's, music legend from Lakeland.
He is. He's very
He's from
good.
Dennis and Mars, Dark Romantic, Party People.
Right.
And so what we
Okay,
did here,
there's a name I'm familiar with.
what this is my artwork. It's on a piece of paper that also has grooves, so you can play it on a record
No
player. So this
way.
artwork plays music. So it's one of his songs. There's a digital download, and there's a button with my name on it.
Come on.
gosh.
Thank you,
So-
bro.
Very cool.
And so the
This
art
is
themed around the
incredible.
song. So you got to listen to
That's
the song and have
cool.
it make sense. But that's a project we collaborated on. We've done a lot of things together. And since then, whenever he plays, he lets me come with him and I'll paint on stage.
That
Oh
is
my
so
gosh.
cool, man. Mr.
That's a great
ENC.
gift. I only own one other button, and it has a picture of meat on it and says mutton. It's kind of a play on words.
It's a mutton button.
Yeah, mutton button. There you go.
Okay, I didn't think
Make
y'all
him
would get
bump
it
the mutton button.
immediately.
Now you've got two
Yeah.
buttons.
And I
Dude,
got
I got
two
two
buttons.
kids. Dad jokes. We're ready
Okay.
for this.
No, this is sick, dude. Thank you so much.
this is
You're
cool.
starting off strong. You're
Wow.
setting a very high
Yeah.
bar for
I
future
can see
guests.
the grooves.
All right, future guest.
Okay.
Bar has
Yeah,
been set.
please.
and
Bar
it's
has
gonna
been
drop.
set.
This is cool.
Headline number one.
All right, here we go. So this one is about a camp supervisor. What happened was he teaches teenagers how to do landscaping
Okay.
at a camp. So this camp would hire kids to work there besides being campers, so like they're on staff.
Huh.
And so this guy, he's out here teaching these kids how to do landscaping with lawnmowers and weed eaters, and they're doing a retention pond. And the supervisor was sitting on top of a drain while he's like getting everybody going.
Okay.
So all the kids are working. So he's like,
This doesn't sound like a camp.
I know it's
It's a work camp.
it's a Christian camp.
Ah, there we go.
There it
teach
is.
Life lessons.
You know,
They're interns.
Don't
Yeah.
trust adults.
you got to pay to work there. Anyway, so after everybody's going and working, the guy jumps down and feels like the most immense pain in his leg.
Yeah.
And it says he grabbed his leg and crawled out. He thought he was shot.
Wow.
Wow.
But it wasn't-
That's
he-
very
the-
presumptuous.
he
You're
saw-
important enough to be shot.
Yeah.
But he saw no blood. He just saw like some like dots on the back of the
Okay.
leg. And the guy realized he was just feeling sick, so he went back to his cabin and took a nap and just told the guys to keep
Okay,
working because he just
okay.
felt he was
Yeah.
Immense pain,
Immense
2
pain.
dots.
That's a snake bite.
took a nap. We'll get there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anyway, the kids he was training, they couldn't find him, so they went back to saw he was there
Okay.
and saw his leg.
Okay.
His leg had swollen up to like it's like they said like a log, like a wood,
Ah.
and you couldn't see his toes; it was just toenails.
Ew.
Oh.
So anyway, they went
Fat feet.
They went and got the camp nurse,
works. Yeah.
and they said when she came in there and touched his leg, it burned her hand.
Oh my god.
Is a demon.
Yeah.
And so it's been hours now since this guy
he still
had this
napping?
incident. And so, so the nurse is like, "Why don't you come to me? Why don't you tell us? Why don't you let us take you to the hospital?" And he
Yes.
said, "I don't have any money. I can't afford it." And the nurse told him
America.
like, "There's this thing called workers' comp."
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep. You're an
anyway-
employee.
So this idiot's like, "All right." So they take him to the hospital and they find out like if he had been
this is the
there an
worst.
hour later,
Okay.
like an hour, he would have
Yeah.
lost his leg or died.
What did he jump on? A
Ends up,
jellyfish?
the doctors found out he had jumped on or stepped on a pygmy rattlesnake.
Holy
gosh.
moly.
And I guess when he hopped down, the
Yeah,
thing
it
bit him in the
startled
leg.
him.
And
That's the thing about Florida, dude, is there's so many things that can kill you. Like just casually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you walk outside and your life changes forever because a pygmy rattlesnake bit your calf meat.
yep.
Yeah.
You know, like
But what life is he living where he's like, I'm going to go nap.
that is pretty.
I felt immense pain. I'm going to take a nap.
I do love that he was like, I've been shot.
Yeah.
That was his go-to reaction.
And how many people are getting shot by doing landscaping?
Exactly. Look at the drive-by, like
snipers looking
wrong
for him.
place, wrong time, dude.
Jesus.
But he had to get a bunch of shots, like the anti-venoms,
Cool.
tetanus, and
Yeah.
all these different
Yeah.
things.
Those are
and
expensive.
Yeah.
actually got the-
Amen.
yeah.
Yeah, I had 10 grand in debt. And then I checked my credits, not there. So,
Praise God.
yeah, now I'm a believer.
And so anyway, this guy today is sitting right here talking to you guys. That was a story about me. I just wanted to share that fun story.
Are you
No
serious?
way.
For real?
I got bit by a pygmy rattlesnake. Yeah.
No
What?
way! What a twist!
And it swelled up.
And it's man, you couldn't even see my toes. You just saw toenails on the.
Oh
Wow.
my God!
We talk so much crap about him. Like,
That's
what
all-
kind of lifestyle
I'm
does
so
a
sorry
guy?
for calling you fat feet.
No, it's awesome.
I
love it.
literally just sat here across from you. I was like, "Oh, fat feet."
Yeah, this may be the dumbest man alive.
It is. That's like my wife. Like, how can you be so stupid not to go get looked
Yeah.
at?
Okay, I will say when you go this idiot, I was like, "Dang."
Yeah,
I was like, "Bump is aggressive."
I want to keep it in. It's like a fun.
he
story.
hates Christian
Oh,
camps.
that
I
is
get it.
so good, dude. That's the first time I think in the history of our show that someone doing headlines was the subject of the
Yeah,
headline.
absolutely.
That's never happened before, bro.
Hey, sneak it in.
God, this
there.
bar is
A
massively
gift,
high
and
now.
then- yeah.
Who's ready for another gift?
Come on, bring
I
it,
don't
dude.
know if I
Let's
can
go. I
handle
feel
it.
like, you know what I feel like? It's like the Christmas story where the wise people come and they give you like the gold and the cologne and stuff.
Yeah, I want the myrrh, baby.
Yes,
so
frankincense.
These are handmade by me, so they're not
God,
perfect.
I
But
hate thoughtful gifts.
I made fill notes, and inside them, I gave you some of my favorite stickers. You can look at the stickers.
Ah, why?
Some stickers I made, so y'all
I
can
support
either write or
local.
draw or just say this was the worst podcast guest ever. Journal. Or
No,
whatever.
Dude,
yeah.
this is incredible.
Wow, if everybody could see these.
But those stickers are great for water bottles or laptops or
Man, you really prompted him where to put them, huh?
Dude, the Sunshine State one is so sick. This is beautiful.
My jam. That's on one of
This
my
is great.
hoodies. $35. Bumpgaletta.com.
Bro, these are gorgeous.
the state
Thank
of
you,
Florida
man.
one's awesome.
I love the I support local. That's so cool, man. Bro, honest to God,
This is the,
can I ask you
the
something?
most clever guest
Before
we've
going
ever
back,
had.
yes, before going back to before going to headline 2, like you fully recovered, yeah? Like, did you have any like leftover like distortion from that?
From the snake?
Yeah.
No, he gave me enough shots. I was limping for a good week or so.
Yeah, of
and
course.
I couldn't put my shoe on for a couple of days on the one
Yeah.
foot. But the doctor was literally mad at me. He's like,
You took a nap?
he was like, we're about to take this leg off or you're about
Yeah.
to die from the venom. And I don't know how they figured out, but I guess they can tell by bite width and by your reactions and symptoms from taking your blood what
Yeah.
you have. So
Yeah.
anyway, so like that's why I have a little fear of snakes, not too much.
Okay, yeah,
Usually
well, small snakes.
I'm not
so
used-
it's a little fear for pygmy snakes.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Because we have a video on my Instagram. It's kind of we're trying to make it go viral. It never does, but it's a snake got into our house, and I'm trying to get it off a chandelier.
Nope.
And my wife's filming
Sell the
me
house.
trying to get it. Yeah, she's like burn the house down.
Yeah,
and I
amen.
almost have the snake. And
How would he get on a chandelier?
We don't know, but he's in the chandelier, and I have a black trash can. So I'm like, I'm going to use these loppers to
this
pull the
story.
chandelier. We're going to throw the chandelier away with the snake. And as soon as I get the chandelier right over the trash can, the snake jumps.
Oh.
Oh my
Snakes can jump.
gosh. I didn't know that.
So the video is just them screaming and running. They leave me in there alone with the snake.
When I get nervous, I get like goosey bumps, and when I was little, people would call me Little Pokey because my nips protrude when I get nervous, and they're coming through my sweater right now. That's how nervous I am. All the snake talk.
They're not.
Oh man.
You know,
Those are holes intentionally cut in your sweater.
well, I wanted
so we
everybody
can
to
your
see.
nips.
I wanted people to see how cold it is in the studio.
Yeah.
Bring me some glass. I'm gonna cut it real quick.
All right, headline 2.
right,
Man,
this-
that was good, bro.
Thank
you. Yeah.
Okay.
Now this is an old one because I know like when guests and people come on and you guys, you're gonna usually see the same top.
Yeah,
one. So
sure.
I went for
Yeah.
some deep cuts. So
Okay.
this one,
Now we're talking.
so this is about a Florida guy doing something Floridian, but in another state.
Okay.
Cool.
So this guy is a 20-year-old private in the military.
Yeah.
And he's just not feeling how the military's treating, the privates and the recruits.
I
in the
like to say
military.
I have a 20-year-old private. Hey, man, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Setting you up, man. Here you go. Here's another one.
He spiked that one, dude.
And because the Vietnam
I'm
War
done.
is ending and everything like that, and it's
Yep,
just
yep.
not a happy person. So he decides, because he knows how to fly, I'm going to steal a Huey, like a helicopter.
Come on.
And I'm going to fly around. And he's also in Virginia. And so he's like,
Whoa.
I'm going to go cruise around. I'm going to make people aware how upset I am. And then he starts getting chased because he realizes he stole a helicopter.
Of course.
And
yes.
so he starts evading them, like in the movies.
Oh, no.
The famous 80 TV show Airwolf.
Yes.
Kind of reminiscent. He's just
Yes, yes.
dodging and
Carving.
weaving,
Yes.
carving everything. And eventually you're like, all right, I need to go. I'm in trouble. I can't keep doing. They're shooting at him too.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
Not with their hands, but with real guns.
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
doing the ET thing.
Yeah.
But so anyway, he realizes like if I land now, I'm
Yep.
getting arrested.
Right.
When I go back to the base, I'm gonna get court-martialed.
Of course.
Let's end with a bang.
Yeah.
So he
How do we do
goes
that?
and lands his helicopter at the White House in the front lawn.
Well, that's how to
'Cause he's like, you know
Holy
what?
Moly.
I'm going to
go big.
surrender myself.
Yep.
I'm just going to walk up and surrender to President Nixon.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
So he's trying to land. Everyone's shooting at him. The cops, the Secret Service,
Yeah.
security guards, the police
I
officers.
assume
on the
his
side.
Huey also has weapons on
Well,
it.
it's just him, so he can't do
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, yeah.
true.
And he's being chased by a very good pilot, and the
no.
pilot afterwards tells them like, that guy is an amazing pilot. So just
Wow,
before we
keep
do
him,
anything,
yeah.
he's a good
Before
pilot.
he gets court-martialed, like he's
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
at what he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after he lands and the smoke clears, they come up and he's hiding under the helicopter because he got shot like 4 or 5 times.
Good God.
Holy
But
moly.
superficial ones. They got shotguns, machine guns, and pistols,
Yeah.
and he only got
Yeah.
scratches. And
He's
stuff.
like, I'm gonna take a nap. I'll come back in a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know what's up? He's like, I just want to surrender to Nixon. I just want to surrender. And
Well, that's gonna be
They
it.
bring him inside and like, hey, him and his family are on vacation. They're not even here right now.
Wow.
He jumps back in the helicopter.
Yeah. Where are they at?
He goes out to Fort David. So okay, that's crazy, man. And honestly, though, I will say this: knowing like Tricky Dick's energy, I think
Yeah.
he would have been like, "All right, bring him inside."
Oh, yeah. Give
you
him a
know, and
raise.
I could see him being
I
like,
could
"I'll
see
talk to
that.
this
Yeah.
kid."
I'll make him a general.
Yeah,
You know.
that's crazy, dude.
Wow.
I love the twist on that one too.
But they worked it out where they lowered it. He was supposed to go away for like hundreds of years, but he only went for a few little bit in prison,
it,
and then
yeah.
he got out, got married, and had some stepkids.
Wow, wrote a book.
I don't know if he wrote a book, but he got a nice, good article about
He
him.
should.
Yeah, that's pretty cool,
I like
dude.
that. I thought it was a cool Floridian.
Yeah,
just
that's
going
so
right to the White
sick.
House, like, hey, what's
Wow.
up? I got a chopper.
And what's interesting is I've never like I think because from doing this show as long as we have, if you do like a dated headline, we tend to kind of at least be somewhat aware. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
No.
That's crazy cool.
I love that's the thing that drives my wife. I'm full of we call it shinfo. It's just shitty info. It's
Yeah.
just useless
Wow,
stories.
I didn't know that was a word. Shinfo.
I learned it from a band called Every Time I Die, but it's just like I know so many stories and information that is useless to you. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but it kills time, and you're like, why did? What?
Like,
It's
So-
great for a podcast.
Attacks on the White House.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna do two at once for you guys. Real
Two
quick.
gifts,
this is
two gifts.
This is a house gift. This is some coffee that we did.
Nice.
Come on.
It's Concord coffee, but we kind of collaborated on that, so that's for you
Very
guys.
cool.
And then one of my pieces to community was made by a sweet dude. He helped us make some Christmas ornaments. So
Oh,
there you guys go.
wow. These
are
Christmas
so
in
sick.
the summer.
See, I wanted to
Dude.
show off what was on the cover of the notebook, but this is
There you
better.
go, man. They got
This is so
This
sick.
is
And this is
awesome.
wood.
Yep.
I love
This
it.
is
man.
wood. He's
It's,
been having trouble identifying wood, so this is a big step for
I
us.
will put blindfolds on, and Josh will just hand me different elements,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
go,
I
"That's
like-
steel."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, that's
birch."
wood.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
birch again.
man, no, that's some organic, rare plywood right there.
I
you
love
guys,
it.
So,
Yes, come on. I love it, dude. Can I smoke it?
you can
What?
try. It's
We
already
both
been
smelled
smoked
it at the same
up.
time.
I know. Jinx on
I
the
feel
sniff,
like it should
bro.
smell. I
But,
feel like we have a discount one.
But if you want to buy some Sleepyhead coffee by Bump Galetta and Mary Galetta, we got it at bumpgaletta.com.
Absolutely. Let's
Very
go.
There we go.
Come on, man.
All right,
Thank
let's-
you for this.
No problem.
Headline 3.
Headline 3. All right, I got some fun. All right.
Snake attack, helicopter attack.
This
Wow,
is
it's
a
weird.
newer
On the
one.
community, there's coffee and a hospital.
Yeah, it's all the little
How
Lakeland pieces.
apropos.
The reason that piece was created, real quick, is my friend Ida Mundell. We did our children's book together called Goodnight Lakeland.
Yeah.
Lakeland.
Very cool.
Bumpgaletta.com. Sorry,
How do
I
you
just
spell that, though?
2 L's, 2 T's.
There we go.
That's so good.
There we go.
King of elevator pitch, bro.
You got to have your 30-second pitch down.
You got it, dude.
Oh my goodness! But she started a store where she would let all locals who were selling stuff put their stuff in there called a kind place.
So
I
cool.
And
like
she
it.
asked me to come. It was my first live art piece, and she wanted me to paint while people were coming and shopping. And so I created that piece, the community piece.
That's so
on
cool.
there, and that's been like one of our little staples and
Yeah,
like
it's great.
representation.
Dude, thank you so much,
No,
man.
thank you guys. This is awesome. Getting back together.
So headline 3.
And we were on your show. We didn't mention it.
It was a tag
You were on
team.
our show
Yeah.
around like episode 18, 19.
yeah.
And we were on your show also.
Yeah, I had a podcast called The Lowdown with Bump,
Yeah, it was good.
and it was rocking. It was going good, and then a few similar ones started happening, and so
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't need 2 or 3 doing the same thing. And
Sure.
so,
Yeah, saturation is tough.
so it's all good. I had fun.
We're glad you're here.
You want to hear
Yes.
a sweet story about my wife about my podcast?
Yeah.
Please.
So if you guys are married out there, take some notes.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, just take some good notes. So I used to, like most husbands, would come home and I would complain, like, the podcast I listen to, the dude's monologue's 2 hours long before he even gets to the guest.
Right.
Amen. Yeah.
Or like they have 9,000 ads in 2-minute podcasts.
Right, right,
Oh,
right.
the worst.
Or their mics sound like they're in the toilet, with it flushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she, for Christmas, gave me this box. And she's like, here you go. And I open it. It's a microphone, headphones. She's like, go do it yourself.
Wow.
wow.
Stop
And
complaining.
That's how you started yours.
So my first season was filmed
Clever.
in my dining room, and
Yeah.
I just brought anybody I can find in there. And then my second season, you guys came on, and
Yeah.
Come on,
got
dude.
John Acuff and all the peoples. Mayor Mutz was on mine too.
That's
By the way,
so
Michael
sick.
Mutz. That's right. I got more broken bones than you.
No
Come
way.
on.
So
no
anyway,
way. You got more than 26?
27.
Oh my gosh.
All at
Back
once.
to back?
Dude,
we have
all at once.
No way.
All
Okay.
at once.
I genuinely love the fact that last week we go, no one has more broken bones than Michael
And then
Mutz.
the next week,
The very next guest is like, I've got
all at once.
27.
And Mutz only had 2 at the same time.
That's so
that
good.
dude's been through the ringer multiple times. Thankfully, mine was just I have less, but anyway, it's just
So good.
good. All right, so this one's a more newer one, but this guy who, for some reason, owns an AR-15, like a lot of people, because I mean,
Okay.
war's around the corner, guys. No offense to
It
you gun
is,
owners,
yeah.
I'm just saying,
Don't take our guns.
Yes.
take our guns.
Yeah.
But he decided, like, I want to have my gun, hang on to my gun, look at my gun.
I
There's-
don't get it, man.
There's noise outside. I'm gonna go look outside. There's a
With my gun.
There's a person
my gun.
that I don't know if they're familiar. I'm gonna just start shooting at them.
Well, that's
Okay.
the step that I
Yeah.
don't agree
Shoots
with.
30 rounds.
God bless.
Holy
This
moly.
poor guy to end up being his pool cleaner who just happened to come a little early that day.
I'm sorry for being efficient and wanting to just eliminate this.
So he
before the
hires
heat.
somebody, and
Yeah.
then when they show up, he shoots at them.
Yeah, and he hits them. But thankfully
Holy
didn't hurt.
moly!
And he also got more injuries from the broken glass of the gun shooting out the window.
Oh
but
my God.
but even if somebody's in my yard, I don't feel like I'm going to go get a machine gun to shoot them. I might like, excuse me, wrong yard, or I have a baseball bat. I even have
Yeah.
a dog that barks sometimes.
Yes, dog.
Yeah, or just
there are a
go-
lot of levels.
Yeah,
I mean, this is limitless.
I
here.
think witnessing the person in your yard
0 to gun.
to like AK-47 there's a massive gap there.
Now, if there was a history of people raiding this guy like the Purge, I get it. Get that machine gun.
If it's
own it.
happening on the
Yep.
night of the purge.
Now, for instance, like my brother-in-law 20 years ago got mugged near our house. And
Yeah.
so the next day I went and bought me a big shotgun.
Yeah.
Now, this shotgun I own, I have
Okay.
never loaded it. I've never cocked it. I've never shoot. It's in my closet still. Even the rounds or bullets or whatever you call them that go in that gun.
I don't know.
They're
You're
still in the
asking
box.
wrong.
Sorry,
Yeah.
gun people. But anyway, just
Yeah.
I thought I needed it, and then I've never needed it.
No, I think brass knuckles is the next.
I like that. I mean, hand to
Yeah.
hand.
Oh,
John
Yeah,
Wick.
I'm a
Yes.
hand-to-hand boy.
Yes.
Speaking as a guy who's never been hand-to-hand with
Well, I
anybody.
think if we're gonna go to combat, it's just fair.
Yeah. I
Thank
think so.
you. Yeah, that's what I think about hunting.
Yes, make it fair.
Yeah, you're shooting something?
If you're looking for meat,
Yeah.
then just do it hand to hand.
Thank you.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, this is my last gift for you guys.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
on. And this is like my favorite thing I've drawn, and so I even retired it from.
This is
selling
your
it.
favorite thing.
My favorite thing.
How
So,
many things have you drawn? Thousands?
Thousands, man. I don't.
Cool.
That's so cool.
But this is my Florida,
Come
Very
on.
cool. This is one of the stickers.
and it's one of the stickers. But it's just like
God, that's good.
ever since I drew this, I've had multiple clients and asked me to do a version of it for them for their business.
Yeah.
And I've had lots of people get
Easily,
it
yeah.
tattooed on them. But
That's what I was going to ask. How many
So
people have
cool, man.
tattooed your work?
a bit. I've designed a lot of tattoos because
Yeah,
I've-
your
I've-
art style is
I got one or
very,
two.
Yeah,
it's
no,
very
this is sick,
tattoo
dude.
friendly.
Well, it's the state
Go
of
ahead and
Florida.
zoom in, camera 2.
This is why you're going to want to be on Patreon.
Camera
so you can
2.
see this, but it's the
Zoom
state
in.
of Florida. It's super artistic. And I was going to say, like, is it ever, like, just a kind of sidebar before the headline, we've had folks tattoo, like, FMAFM stuff on their bodies. And it always, like, we're very thankful for it, but I think we always go, like, oh, no. Like,
Yeah.
hey, talk to us first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's talk you out of that.
Slow that down.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so do you feel, does it ever, when folks, like, with you as an artist, though, they tattoo your work, that's
They
what
go,
an honor,
I
right?
want to get Southgate on my back.
I love
And
it.
you're like, I don't know.
It is cool because I mean it's permanent. It's there, and seeing
Yeah.
I still get goosebumps from it. And I have had people ask to get it, and then I never get a picture or anything later. And so one day I was dropping off a house portrait to a guy,
Yeah.
bumpgaletta.com, having a sale going on,
Do
house
you though?
portraits right
Is
now.
it a house? Okay.
And so this guy ordered a house portrait because his wife's a realtor. This is her first house closing.
wow.
It's a housewarming gift. Bumpgaletta.com. And so I'm handing him
Two
the
L's,
thing
two
to
T's.
take to his wife, 2Ls2Ts.com. And I see these tattoos on his arms. I'm like, I drew those. He's like, oh yeah, I commissioned you a couple years ago. And I'm like,
What? You
why
gotta
didn't send
show
a picture?
me.
I'm like, show me a picture. But he had them on his forearm. It was
That's
so
so
Wow,
I got
forearm's a
goosebumps,
big
but I
spot.
didn't have the
No,
Yeah,
no
nips,
nips though.
yeah.
Dude, I love the confidence of like, I love your work. I'm gonna tattoo it, and I'm just not gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna tell you I did that.
I mean, yeah, it happens a lot actually.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
also tell people like I would love to see where you hang and display it because I like to share how people hang
Of
their art
course,
because everybody has a
yeah.
different style or taste,
Yes,
good or bad.
yes.
But it's just you like to see the final landing.
Of course.
And a lot
yeah.
of people don't do that.
It's
I
weird.
Do that.
Oh.
I actually have a massive back piece of Barack Obama.
No way.
Yeah.
And it was before he was a war criminal, and then suddenly I felt really bad
That's every
afterwards.
president.
Yeah. So like, and now I'm just like,
They have to make decisions.
you can't drone hospitals and then expect me to just rock your back
Well,
tattoo now.
Some
Like,
decisions he doesn't want to be a part of.
Right.
that's true. I did hear that for those slaughters, he wasn't in the room.
Yeah. He,
So
he was down
that
the
was
hall.
that was General Petraeus.
I think he was getting extra scoops, and they're like, "We should just hit it." He's like, "Yeah, more scoops."
Yeah,
I think they just
That's what I'm
mistook it.
talking about.
Is this the last headline or is
I'm
this
gonna,
the,
I'm gonna two,
two
back
more?
to
Let's
back.
do
Yeah,
it.
no.
One's short because it's funny.
Yes.
And then the other one's is a good.
it you
a good
again?
Bookend. All right, so only good Nazi is a dead Nazi. Just throwing that out. before I
Yes,
do this.
sir.
And that's something we're strong about.
I'm all about it. If you got a
Yeah.
problem with
You
it?
want a high five for that?
We actually don't curse on our show too much, but we do have this thing about like back in the day, like at punk rock shows, you'd say like "F you Nazi punks."
Yes.
That was like a
Yeah.
big thing. If you showed up to shows and you had on like and you were laced up,
Oh,
you would
yeah.
get beat up, dude. That was like a real thing. Like we don't
Yeah.
take kindly to folks who don't take kindly to folks around here,
Yeah.
and
Thank
that
you.
goes for Nazis.
Yeah.
And I don't usually hate somebody, but I don't like you guys.
Only good Nazi is a dead Nazi.
And if you're listening to this podcast, turn it off and go away.
No Nazis on this podcast.
Wow.
But unless you're contributing to the
Even
Patreon.
then, we don't want your money.
All right.
We don't want
Get your
Nazi
money, get
money.
out.
No Nazi money.
All right. So anyway, these anti-Semitic group of people were harassing the sheriff in Volso. I don't know how to say the town. It begins with a V in Florida, and they're like just kept harassing him, threatening him, and all this stuff. And he kept laughing them off. There's a bunch of stories of
course.
how he just laughs at them all. So they finally like, if you don't give us $100,000 in gold,
In gold?
in
Are they
gold.
pirates?
What sheriff?
Okay, so we're going to roll down in 3, 2.
Hey, fellas.
Hello, Josh.
Bonjour.
So what I planned has been in the works for a while. I like segments that are audio unfriendly
That's right.
for our audio podcast. And
want you
since
to imagine
we have an artist
That's right.
on the show, I thought, what's better than the old game show Win, Lose, or Draw
Come on.
Bring it.
from the 80s, early 90s?
Yes.
And
TGIF, man.
I thought we would reward our Patreon payers with a visible and visual art demonstration. So what I've done is I've written down some note cards that have movies on them.
Okay.
I've slightly obscured the movie title
Okay.
just so that artist Bump Galetta, 2Ls2Ts.com,
.com.
can't just draw the movie poster.
Right.
And I think I have some examples that I had here.
Put them down there. But maybe you.
And I picked them up. One was taken from Impractical Jokers, like Willy Bonky and the Chocolate Factory.
Willy
You
Bonky.
get it? It's a play on words. Right? Bump, we have a prize here for you. And the goal is to do in a certain, an undetermined amount of time, do an undetermined amount of successful guesses.
Right.
You got this.
So
I think I can do it.
I
Yeah.
believe in you.
Yes.
So once it passes that in my head, the amount of time and the amount of successful guesses, then we will reward you with the
I
prize.
love that it's unknown to me.
And me.
Because just like the day of the Lord's
forgot
return.
what I wrote.
Nobody knows.
So there's a stack here. Some may or may not make sense. I don't remember what I wrote. But I'm excited to see you try. You can pick them up, put them down, say pass, or you can continue to draw them. So what we're going to have you do is pick it up. Wayne's going to mute his headphones. You're going to read it into the mic.
Bump's going to read it into the mic.
Yeah. And then you're going to draw it and have an undetermined amount of time to draw it.
Okay.
All right, we got this.
All right. So
Okay.
you let me know when you're going to read it into the mic, and I'll mute myself so I can't hear.
You got it.
Okay. Oh, here's the examples right here.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Go ahead.
The Sixth Sense. Sense with a C. All right, am I going to draw
Yeah.
now? Or?
Yeah. And
Okay.
go.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
That's a face. An eyeball is looking. That's like broccoli. There's an eyeball looking. Oh, it's a skull. The skull with a question mark above it. He's dead.
Uh-huh.
The person's looking at the. I see dead people.
Okay.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's
Hey,
freaking go.
Let's go.
USA. USA.
All right, I'm reading the next one.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna mute it.
Pie rats of carrot being.
Yeah, this is true. Okay, do you want to flip the page?
Oh, let's do it on the same.
Okay, same
make
page.
A fun page. You ready?
Okay, ready?
This was actually level 3 of hardness when I wrote this one. I hope to save it.
It's a boat. It's a ship.
Uh-huh.
They're in the ocean. Let's see here. There's a pirate. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
freaking go.
Okay,
Eat it,
so
other team.
so my my next instruction is to draw it as you see it, as you read it, and then he has to decipher the obscured movie title.
Okay. Hold on. Let me know when to mute it.
Okay.
All right. All right, mute it.
Okay.
Full Metal Yak Tits.
Okay. Are you still muted? That's Full Metal Jacket, but he has to draw a Full Metal Yak Tit. Okay, unmute. Okay, go.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I feel like by Wayne's giggles over there, he might have heard some part.
I think you heard it.
Okay.
Certain words just kind of
They jumped the.
higher frequency than
Okay.
others.
I don't think I've ever drawn yak tits before.
Okay.
So we already gave that one away.
Okay. Did you? What's the movie that you would think a yak TT would be in?
I don't know, man. So the movie has a yak in it, or the title has yak in it?
The title may sound like yak tit.
Jacket?
Okay. What movie has jacket
I don't know.
possibly in it? Now,
Hold
depending on
That's
the
a-
artist,
That's like a what is that? Like a straight? That's a like a bullet. Is that a bulletproof jacket? Bulletproof vest?
yeah. What would they make bulletproof things out of?
Full Metal Alchemist?
You're on it. Excuse me.
Full Metal Jacket.
There we go.
Full Metal Yak Tit.
Okay.
That's so good.
Okay. Next one. Man,
right.
he's blowing through them.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me when to mute.
Turn it down.
Turn it down. Beauty and the beefaroni.
Okay, good. I'm just gonna say, as a 39-year-old man, I recently possibly had this for dinner.
Okay. So it's a food related movie.
And it was a nice like throwback. I was like,
It's a flower.
That's enjoyable.
He's drawing a flower, and there is a.
You're not gonna find it at like a Maggiano's though.
That's a can. Is that candy on there?
All right.
This is going about as successfully as I pictured, and
Those are teeth. Okay, so that's a bear. It's a bear with teeth.
okay,
Can I just say something here?
okay, yeah,
He's an amazing artist.
yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see what's on this page.
There's a flower. There's a can. There's a bear.
Okay,
This is a movie.
yeah, Disney. Except
It's a rose. That's a beast. Beauty and the Beast.
there we go. Nice.
Oh man.
I'm so
Other
sorry that
team,
took
you
so
suck.
long,
Other
dude.
team, you suck, and the last one.
Okay.
Draw it as you read it.
I wish I had said
will.
before this was pitched
And I
that
think you
suck at this
can.
game.
That's my favorite
okay.
one.
Okay.
I knew
let me know
I
when
knew
to
he
mute.
could have fun with
Okay.
this one.
The karate squid. Get ready for this one.
God, I'm excited about this one. Do you want a new piece of paper
You
for
ready,
this?
Wayne? You ready?
Yes. Okay.
No, this is gonna be the
Okay. That looks questionable.
What do you mean? What do you see?
I can't say what it looks like. I think it is because we have
Okay.
a family friendly show.
Okay. I'm just going to read some of the other options.
It's like a Ninja Turtle.
Some of the other options that a bump could have drawn is Honey, I Shrunk the Lids.
Okay.
I picture a small lid. Slime Dog Millionaire. I picture a slimy dog.
Okay. Josh, okay, Bump is that's an octopus with like some kind of bandana on it. He's in a gang.
Yeah.
A gang octopus.
The Lizard of Oz. I got more here. Oh, this one's my favorite. The side glance of the lambs.
God, that is
I pictured
good.
a lamb with a like side glancing, like, what's over there?
Okay, so I think that's. Is it an octopus? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's an octopus.
Top Bun. Like Top Gun, but with a hamburger. You'll
Okay,
get
so
it. You'll get it
it's,
tomorrow.
it's an octopus with some kind of headband on or like a head mask on.
Who wears headbands?
Ninjas.
Oh, what do they do?
Fight. Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtle octopus.
What kind of fighting do they do?
Karate. Karate Kid.
Karate Squid.
Karate Squid.
That's
Let's
right.
Go.
squid with the
Okay.
headband. He's doing the crane technique on the
Wow.
beam. At the
Look at
beach.
this.
Wow.
I wish you could see this on the audio podcast.
One last thing.
Bumpgalactic.com. I can't even see it, but
He knew exactly what
wow.
it
This
House
is,
Let's
portraits
go.
are on
oh,
sale.
honestly, this is a good. I like this. Is this where you got confused?
Patreon.
These two?
Well, it did. Those look like the yak.
I
it's
love
rare
it.
to draw like that angle, but we pulled it off.
Yeah,
Can
we
you
did.
sign that and then
Yeah.
we'll give it away? Can we do that? Sign it and give it away. That's incredible.
Some drawing options that he didn't get.
Okay.
The Lion King. I just pictured a kinky lion.
Yeah, like a
50
hot
Shades.
Yeah.
A few good hens.
Oh, come on. We all need them.
Yeah. Dog's not dead.
What's that supposed to be?
God's not dead. It's it's a Christian movie. It's just backwards play on words. You'll get it tomorrow. Mad Facts, Fury Toad.
Okay.
Yeah, that would have
I
really
love
taken
that
you
one.
to the extent
That
of
would
your
have been awesome to
creativity.
draw.
Santa Claustrophobic.
Oh,
You would have
So
gotten
good.
that. Yeah.
And Christmas is my favorite, by the way, so we can't go negative.
The Fashion of the Christ. That,
That could have been anything.
hands down,
could have
is
been
like
anything.
one of the...
I feel like static, like it's lightning about the
Yeah,
house right now. That
it
one.
is. The Fashion of the Christ, though. I had picture a shawl.
Yes,
Probably,
that is
probably
good.
purple.
3, 2. Konstantinos Boulos was born on February 6, 1949 in Greece.
You sure you're pronouncing that right?
Nope, I'm not. And so, luckily for you guys and our listeners, all of Konstantinos' friends called him Gus.
You,
Nice.
You just said it different.
Yeah.
Both times.
So that's why we're gonna call him Gus the rest of the
Okay,
episode. So Gus Boulos, that is his last name, was born in a very small city called Kavala in northern Greece. He was the third of 4 children. And during his childhood, he actually dropped out of school in 6th grade to help his father, who was a fisherman. And this is kind of like a premise on our show when we cover folks who, in their past, like they grew up poor and they usually just didn't finish school and they helped their parents do whatever their parents did. And his dad was a fisherman. The issue with this was his father would take the boat out in the middle of the night and not take Gus with him. Gus is
Sir, how do I help?
right. Pa, you said I was gonna fish.
Yeah.
So what happened is that Gus's job was to stand on the edge of the dock and wait for his father to return,
Okay.
and then pull the boat back in, anchor it, tie it off, that kind of stuff. Right.
Pre-cell phones.
All the hard work.
This is pre-cell phones.
So dad can come back at any time.
He's just sitting on the dock in the middle of the night waiting for him.
Not even a fishing pole?
Not even fishing
It's a
pole.
Game Boy or anything?
No, nothing.
Nothing?
Gus is by himself in
Sketchpad?
the middle of the night. His dad was a night shift fisherman, and Gus had to
Okay.
sit on the dock in the dark.
No
So
matches?
here's the thing, though. This is details important because one night Gus wasn't feeling well. So
Yeah.
he stayed home. He didn't go to work.
Okay.
And so on that night, his father had to pull the boat in on his own.
Oh, no.
And he happened to cross some electrical wires and didn't know it. And he grabbed onto
What
a
kind of
fence
place
to
is
pull
this?
himself in and electrocuted himself and died.
Okay. Wow.
So Gus, naturally, being a kid and having this happen, he was 16, and he blamed himself. He didn't go to work that night. He didn't feel good.
I feel it.
And then his dad, was electrocuted, and so Gus
There's
left.
probably not a lot of people that have the similar story.
Oh, his
I
very-
didn't go to work and my dad died from electrocution.
I think he's a one and done.
I think so.
He's a flower there. In this, so he's 16 years old. He leaves Greece and goes to Canada as a teenager.
Okay.
He's living there, essentially starting over from scratch. And in July of 1971, he was at a laundromat, and 16-year-old Gus Boulos, he meets a 16-year-old girl who happens to be from the small town of Kavala, Greece. So he didn't know this girl. She didn't know him. When he leaves and goes to Canada, he runs into this girl at a laundromat who happens to be from the same small town in
Wow.
a different country.
Wow.
Okay. So he does what any logical person would do
Proposes.
right away. Literally right away.
Yeah, you have to.
He's like, this is a God thing.
Yeah.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
She says yes, right? So Gus and Frances, they have a couple kids, but ultimately decide that Canada is not for them. Gus wants to start a business. He wants to build a future for his family. And so he makes the best decision of his life, and they relocate to Miami, Florida.
Hey.
Very Grecian.
It varies. I feel like when I'm there, I think I'm in Greece.
I
I've
know.
never been to
Yeah.
Greece, but I just
Yeah.
feel like Miami.
Miami
is
has Greece vibes.
Yeah,
Totally.
I had an ex who said she was Greek passing.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's a long story.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to even say that.
I didn't either.
No, yeah. Shame on her.
Yeah.
So they end up in Miami, Florida. And upon arriving, Gus kind of realizes, like, my options are limited. He's a double immigrant, right? Like, he leaves Greece, goes to Canada, leaves Canada, comes to Florida.
Get one more.
One more move and then you go to jail, actually. But no, he couldn't find a job.
Yeah.
No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't find a job. And so he ends up finding part-time work as a dishwasher at a small restaurant called Mr. Subs. And this was like a kind of a one-off sandwich shop down in Miami.
Yeah.
He becomes a dishwasher. Now, keep in mind, this guy is still in his very early 20s. Okay. He's still very young.
I washed dishes in my 20s.
Yeah,
I
right.
did too.
Yeah. So
Crispers.
it's not a bad gig. And so he's washing dishes at this sub sandwich restaurant. And he ends up talking to the owners one afternoon, and he tells them, "Hey, look, the food here is good."
Okay.
And in fact,
Thank you,
as a
dishwasher.
yeah, right. No, and
Thanks, lowest staff member.
yeah, exactly. He goes, "Hey, the food here is good." As a Greek man,
Yep.
I know food, and I'm telling you, this could go somewhere.
Okay.
You are severely limiting yourself by just having one location here.
Wow.
Okay, so the
My man.
owners are listening to this dishwasher who is saying,
Yeah,
you should
early
have
20s.
Yeah, you should have more than one location."
Yeah.
What year is this?
This is in the 1970s.
Okay, gotcha.
And so the owners say to Gus Boulis, like, "Hey, like, we know you're just a kid, but like, what do you know about this?" And he goes, "Back in Greece, my father franchised hundreds of restaurants. I could do it for you."
Wow.
And they were like, "Okay, let's do it. Let's take a chance on this kid."
Sounds legit.
None of it's true though. That's
Well,
the
of
thing.
course
Is
not.
His dad was a lightning fisherman, so like he didn't even like have any restaurant experience.
Yeah.
And so the owners of Mr. Sub, they don't know that.
No.
So they take Gus
They
off.
don't know the shocking truth. Got him. Thank you.
Is this George
Dunk.
Santos?
Right. So they take him off dishwashing and they put him in charge of franchise expansion
Wow. Big jump.
for Mr. Sub, right?
Yeah.
So now Gus Boulis finds himself in the situation where he's like, "I've lied my way into a promotion.
Okay.
And I don't know anything about franchising." And so he basically does everything but go to business school. He starts going around to other local shops and going, like, "Hey, like, theoretically, if you
Yeah.
were going to expand, what would you
Yeah.
do?"
What if?
Yeah, what if? And he's going to the library reading books. He's really trying his best. He's like, "Hey, I can't lose this job. Like, I got to figure this out." To say that Gus Boulis figured it out would actually be an understatement, because within 5 years, Gus led the company in opening 200 locations of Mr. Subs across
That's
the
a
nation.
lot.
No way.
It's an incredible amount. In 1970, at the age of 20,
He was either doing it really right or really wrong.
he actually was
To
doing,
do
Copy
200.
somebody's notes.
he was doing it very, very, very right, because they essentially give him, because they had said to him, "We couldn't salary you, so we're going to give you a percentage of ownership."
Wow.
So as the company
Wow.
grew,
Yeah.
his wealth grew.
Okay.
And in 1970, at the age of 21, 26, because it's been 5 years of expansion, he sells his share for an estimated $25 million.
It's nice to hear someone in the same boat as us.
Yeah.
Somebody who just like lied their way to the top and then finally made money.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Fake it till you make it.
I mean, that's how you do politics, right?
100%.
Every politician.
Every single one.
So he essentially has 25 mil now, and Gus wants to use this money to launch his own sandwich franchise.
Sir, were non-competes a thing here?
Not back then.
Not the 70s.
Then, okay.
So I just want to paint a picture here. He launches a new franchise called Miami Subs and Grill,
Well, hello.
which is very recognizable.
I have heard
if you
of
live in
this.
Florida, they are
Yeah.
everywhere. There's like neon lights. It's this whole
yeah.
like Miami vibe. But I just want to paint a picture here because he helps one sub shop expand to 200 locations, sells his share for $25 million,
and now I'm going to compete.
and then he starts his own, but then he takes the knowledge with him. So
Yeah.
the owners of the Mr. Subs, they don't know what to do.
Right.
That's
they
okay.
they
I
essentially,
got 200 locations.
well, not
I
for
should
long.
be
They don't.
happy. No?
No, they don't do well without Gus.
Really?
They end up like closing a ton of locations.
no.
And then what happens is like Miami Subs and Grill, like they become a household name in Florida.
I remember them.
They become this massive, massive franchise.
Did the owners that hired him get electrocuted by grabbing paper?
Yeah,
mysteriously.
accidentally.
They didn't.
They
But
went fishing one night.
right. And so this guy essentially wins the sandwich wars, though. I mean, like he's like the king of the crop, right?
Yeah.
There's one on every corner at this point. In 1994, okay, so we've jumped 20 years here. To celebrate his vast expansion, Gus Boulis, he takes 300 of his Miami Subs store managers,
Okay.
and he takes them on a Las Vegas style gambling ship to have a party. Okay.
Okay.
It's a
Well,
lot of people.
a
300
lot of
people. he's like, let's celebrate our expansion. You know, we're doing well. I want you guys to come on this like gambling boat with me.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you aren't familiar with gambling boats, in Florida, basically we have these mini cruise ships.
Yes.
That are just essentially floating casinos.
Do they have to go out to international waters?
They have
That's
to.
a trick?
They have to. So, in order for it to be legal and above board, they sell out to international waters and then start gambling.
How far is that? Is it like 8 miles or 12 miles or something?
I was going to say,
Audience,
10 miles?
the audience says 10 miles.
My man.
Do we trust that?
Yeah,
I
so
do,
I just
yeah.
want to say this. Jordan Blaylock, he's familiar. Our listeners know who he is. He says 10 so confidently
Yeah,
that
you should
I
see
know
his
for a
back
fact he's
tattoo.
been on a gambling boat.
His back tattoo.
He's been on a gambling boat 12 times, he says.
Wow.
So
That's
that
where I
makes
got the 12
perfect
from.
sense, actually.
USA.
USA. All right. So essentially, that's how floating casinos work in Florida. They're very common off of our coast.
Yeah.
So Gus takes 300 of his managers on one of these boats. And while he's on the boat, he goes, yeah, I like this a lot. I like this vibe of floating casinos.
Okay.
So he buys the boat. He buys
Sure,
a
okay.
mini cruise ship.
Well, he was probably told no. Like, he's walking through and they're like, no, sir, you can't go in the galley.
It's like, how much is this international water here?
Yeah, he's like, I would like to buy this.
Yeah.
So Gus buys the mini casino cruise ship that he's on.
Okay.
Okay. Now he owns this boat. And within a year, Gus launches one of the most successful casino businesses in the United States called Sun Cruise Casinos.
Okay.
Okay. Essentially, what they do is they go off the coast of Florida and you
Yes.
gamble. The tagline for his company was, "It's a cruise to nowhere." Because you would just circle out in the waters and gamble until all your money was gone, and then you come
Okay.
back to Florida.
Okay.
crazy.
It's a cruise to poverty.
Well, for those people, but not for Gus, because
bless.
he became unbelievably wealthy
Yeah.
from this.
So would you say the boat always wins?
The boat
Wow,
won
the boat-
every single
The
time.
houseboat always wins.
The houseboat always wins. Here's the thing, though. This is where the problem comes in for our guy, because when you make this kind of money doing something that the U.S. government hates, it's going to cause problems for you, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going out into international water to break the law, essentially, as far as the government's concerned. So immediately, Florida state officials begin trying to shut down Sun Cruise casinos.
Of course.
We hate this. We don't want you making
You're
money.
not lobbying enough.
Yes.
We're going to shut you down.
Well, we're going to get there.
Oh, my God.
We're going to get there.
It's so par for the course.
They're harassing his staff. They're holding up random Sun Cruise ships at port, and they're saying we heard word there was like drugs on here. So they're holding up.
I smelled something.
Yeah,
I smelled marijuana.
Yeah, our dog smelled weed from the coast, so we're gonna come and
Marijuana
check.
on his boat.
Yeah, so they're holding up, and they're basically trying to crush his business any way they
course.
can, right? And so this puts Gus in a tight position because now he can't partner with banks in the state because the state's been like, don't work with this guy.
Yeah.
Right? So they're locking him out. And so he can only partner with folks who don't like the U.S. government. And so
Shady people.
he decides to partner with the Gambino crime family, a.k.a. the mafia. Because he figures, hey, I can't be above board anymore. The government's locked me out. So if he needs a loan, if he needs whatever, he's going through the Gambino crime family.
Well, Gambino sounds like gambling, you know.
That's where the name came from.
Probably the confusion there.
That's
Yeah.
that's where it is kind
I've never
of confusing.
heard mob or mafia.
Yeah,
just
I heard
gambling.
Gamblino.
One had Gamblino.
Sounds like a sandwich.
So by the time the late 90s roll around, Gus Boulos is neck deep in organized crime. But it's during this season of life that he meets a guy who on the surface seems pretty straight laced.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's working with the mob. He's running these casino ships, and he meets a man by the name of Jack Abramoff.
That sounds familiar.
It should sound familiar.
Okay.
Jack is a very well-connected man, okay? He was the former chairman of the Republican National Committee. He was the founding member of the International Freedom Foundation. He served on the board of directors of the National Center for Public Policy Research, which is a far-right think tank. And he was one of the most powerful lobbyists in Washington, D.C. So Gus meets Jack Abramoff, and all of Jack's friends are working in the West Wing of the White House.
Naturally.
And they build this friendship, and Jack tells our Florida man, Gus, look, buddy, the government's not going to let you go. They're coming after you. They're going to chase you until the end of your life. Let me help you get out of this.
Okay.
Yeah, we know where this is going.
I've got a solution, right? So over the course of 4 months, Jack Abramoff convinced Gus Boulos to sell him Sun Cruise Casinos for $276 million.
What?
Now, this kind of looks good for Gus, right?
Okay.
He just made $250 million.
Sure.
Okay. The logic here, though, was the casinos were actually worth a lot more than that.
Yeah, of course.
And so by underpricing it, Jack Abramoff promised to not only get the government off of Gus's back, but he would also provide him with state contracts that would make him theoretically more money than the casinos ever could.
Oh, wow.
So he goes, you sell me this for less than what it's
yeah,
worth.
a little quid pro quo.
I'll get the government off your back with all my friends at the White House.
Yep.
And then, I'll get you these state contracts and you're
Yeah.
going to be wildly rich, right?
He's
more
like,
than
Cross
you,
my heart, hope to die.
cross my heart, hope to die, right? Gus says yes. I'm gonna do it. And in case you guys didn't know this, that's actually illegal. You're not allowed
You
to
can't
do
trade for state contracts.
yeah what they've just done, right?
Yeah.
So Gus is in a desperate situation. He says yes. His buddy Jack Abramoff has offered him a solution, and now he can be good to go.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to Gus,
Yeah.
and unbeknownst to Jack Abramoff,
Oh, yeah.
the Clinton administration
Oh my God,
had been
boss.
investigating Jack for over 2 years. In fact, he was on Bill Clinton's top 10 this guy's up to no good list.
Wow.
We got to bring him down.
Okay.
But nobody knew except for a very, very tight circle of
Yeah.
people in the Oval Office. And so Jack Abramoff, I guess one of his friends in the White House catches wind. They tell Jack, and they're like, hey, Clinton's coming for you.
Okay, the president.
The president,
The president.
you
Yeah.
just made a massive illegal deal.
Yes.
You got to cover your tracks. You got to figure this
How
out.
so?
Gus Boulos has got to go.
Got to go.
That's what they tell Jack
yeah.
Abramoff, right?
To Greece?
Miami
Oh,
Well,
where's he go?
on February 6, 2001,
vacation.
Gus was driving his car in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, when an Escalade pulls out in front of him. Gus tries to reverse,
Not,
but he
not
noticed
odd for a big
It's
SUV
not. It's
to
not.
cut you off in the state of Florida.
he goes to put it in reverse,
Yeah.
though, and there's another big SUV behind him.
Semi-odd.
Is
now.
this Lethal Weapon 3?
Something like
Yeah.
that.
With Die Hard with a
Jet Li
vengeance.
and they do
Oh,
something
yeah,
like that.
I did like
That's
that
cool.
one.
So now there's an Escalade in the front, Escalade in the back.
Yep. Probably black.
Yes, with blacked out windows.
Yep.
A third Escalade pulls up next to Gus, firing hundreds of rounds
That's trouble.
into the car, and Gus Boulos died at the scene.
He didn't have bulletproof windows.
No.
Wow.
No.
My man.
movies.
Yeah. That's
So-
not a big, expensive upgrade.
No. And so everyone who was anyone, they knew Jack Abramoff was behind the killing.
Of course.
But after some backroom dealings and a guilty plea, Jack Abramoff was sentenced to only 6 years in federal prison for mail fraud and tax evasion.
Mail fraud, awesome.
There were some lower level men on the totem pole who went to jail for murder, but the big wig served 6 years in a cushy government ran facility where he played tennis every single day. What's crazy about this entire story
Yeah.
is that in the grand scheme of things, the small man on the totem pole, like the guy who got murdered,
Yep.
was worth $250 million. This shows you the
Yeah.
power of the West Wing and the lobbyists
Yep.
and the government. They don't care about any of that, dude. They will off you
So
and
Clinton just
downtown.
dropped it after that?
There was a backroom deal, and the agreement was you plead guilty to these things, you give us the win and political capital, and it was 6 years in a government facility.
Goodness.
There was a film made about this called Casino Jack.
Okay, I've heard of
with
this.
the guy from House of Cards. I can't think of his name.
Spacey?
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
About this whole story. Now Kevin Spacey is a pervert, but the
serious
movie's
pervert.
the movie's pretty good.
He used to be my favorite actor. Him
I
and
know.
Ed Norton.
Until he became a very bad guy. But
Yeah.
it's actually fascinating, man, because Jack Abramoff, when you look him up, you kind of see the political war between him and Clinton, and there's
Yeah.
all these backroom dealings. What no one ever talks about is
The
you know
murder?
the guy from Greece who
Yeah.
started a restaurant chain and was just trying to live his best life. Got boxed out by the government, meets a friend from the White House, and then gets murdered in downtown Fort Lauderdale on a Tuesday night.
And then 6 years.
And then the kingpin gets 6 years playing tennis.
That's insane.
It's absolutely insane, man.
You say Casino Jack, but honestly, I picture Kangaroo Jack. I don't know if y'all remember that.
I don't remember that movie.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I will say
There's a
that-
Probably
kangaroo in
very
there.
similar.
Is it?
No.
Okay,
It's got to be the farthest from
I'm
it.
gullible. I'm I don't know what you're talking about.
Heck, he just switched from sandwiches to gambling, and
Well, dude, and that's
popped off.
And I guess you could say too, like, typically, and we've covered Florida Mob on our show before.
Yeah.
But you would think typically, like, with the mob, that would be what gets you in trouble.
Yep.
The government was already boxing him out before that, and the mob actually, like, not that they were the good guys, but in this story, they were the neutral guys. I mean, they weren't causing any trouble. They were just giving him loans where, like, the states wouldn't, and then
trace or track it.
Yeah, and then the guy that ended up, like, bringing him down was just a White House dude.
And Abramoff still alive?
He wrote a book and is living quite well.
So the
Florida?
lesson is to go into politics.
Oh, that's always the
lesson is to
Yeah.
go into politics,
Yep.
makes lots of friends in the gambling
And
industry.
lose your conscience.
Never lose.
And
don't
Jack Abramoff, if you listen to our show, shame on you.
that was rude.
Yeah, shame on you.
That wasn't nice, bud.
And also, Kangaroo Jack is better than Casino Jack.
I think so
I'm
too,
gonna
and I've
make a
never even
stand.
seen it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Well, hey, we're gonna roll the red carpet out for our good friend Bum Coletta. Now, I don't know what your website is. Could you say it for us? Could you let us know?
Yeah, I don't know if I got a chance to mention it, but it is Bump Galletta. That's GALLETTA.com.
I would-
2 T's.
Okay.
I think we're at the point where we should just name the episode.
Pumpkinletter.com.
No, but dude, thank you for the amazing gifts.
Yes.
Thank you for the amazing headlines, for the amazing drawings. We're going to be giving away that drawing. I think you signed it, or you're going
I
to sign
signed
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's signed.
We're going to be giving away online, and we'll partner with you on that. That's
I'll
so
get some
cool.
extra stickers to go
Yes,
in there.
of
and-
course.
Now, thank you. You guys, I can
It
see
looks
your
like
family.
chaos. Your photo now that I'm looking at it. I don't know what's the face with the eyeballs poking out. There's arrows coming out of the eyeballs.
That was Sixth Sense. He sees dead people.
Wow.
That one was good. What
good.
confused me was the squid with the Huns and the
I was trying to make him do the crane technique on the pole.
but my brain turns everything into Huns. You know what I
got it.
mean?
Wow,
Like, I just
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jack
sorry
got
to interrupt. You were closing.
Sorry, we're PG-13 on that
Yeah.
one right there.
No, you're good. But hey, what do you have coming up, man? Anything you want to share?
I'm blessed. I got a little bit of work on my plate. I'm doing a house portrait sale, we call it like a holiday thing in the summer.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
cool.
you guys want to do it, it's a great gift for somebody for a housewarming, anniversary, birthday. It's custom. I mean, it's
I think Sears calls it Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. There we
Come
go. We'll
on.
do that.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see.
not trademark. You can
And
take
then
it.
it's not officially announced. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce or not. Nobody told me. I never signed anything, but I have. So sorry, Keel and Curly, but they got a
Really?
limited edition wine coming out that I did the label for. It's
I
called
love Keel and
Mango
Curly.
Tango.
Oh, Mango
So,
Tango.
yeah,
They're in
so-
our Plant City, Florida, right down the road.
Yeah, so we'll start promoting that probably soon.
Come on, man.
And I got a couple murals coming out in different places, and just selling stuff on my website. I haven't done any markets this year. I just started a new career change where I'm working over at One More Child. I'm their creative manager, as they call it.
That's so
I
cool,
help
man.
them with all their.
And what does One More Child do?
And One More Child is a nonprofit that helps people with foster kids. It helps kids in the foster care system, and it also helps those who've been in unfortunately been in sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Helping them get back on their feet, get them back plugged into life, and protect them and things like that.
So
they
cool,
also
man.
help single moms, single families, and they also have facilities all over the country where if you needed food or things like that, you can go there and get that. And I'm just fortunate I get to work there and I get to make pretty stuff like I like. I get to still serve and help people.
Very cool.
And
So
I love
cool,
it. Everybody over
man.
there is super awesome. I'm going to give a shout out to my communication marketing team. What's up?
Come on, let's
And,
go, dude.
yeah.
But that's what I've been doing. And
They
I'm
say
just-
Batman went through the One More Child system. That's how he was
probably-
adopted.
I wouldn't be
through the-
surprised. I
Let's
can't say
go.
NDAs on it. We got to keep the kids' identity
yeah, I
secret.
forget. Yeah.
So, I mean,
That's
B-Man is what I'm supposed to call him.
B. Wayne.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clark Kent, you never know who came in there.
Come
Just
on.
all these people,
Well, hey, we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you being so faithful. Patreon.com/FMOFM podcast is where you can see all the goodies behind the scenes and help us go further faster. We love you a ton. Episode 233, Bum Galletta. Love you, dude. We'll see you next time.
USA.
USA.
So good, man. Honestly, man. So fun. Hey, Patreon, we love you. Thanks for hanging out. We will
Thank
see you.
you.
We're giving you a bonus episode tomorrow. A bonus episode just for your Patreon called Toot or Dare. And we love you a lot. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bro, great job, man.
Oh, wow.
So good,
Yeah.
bro.
Thank you guys. That was epic.
I think